go to work. Come on. Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it. If you don't know that quote, it's from SpongeBob. I'm sure you're probably thinking like one of two things right now. One, that I was lazy and didn't edit last week's video, so it was just like a week late. Or two, that I got bored of vlogging and this channel is no longer going to be a thing. But actually, life just sort of slowed down here, and there was nothing really like interesting to vlog. I feel like I really like skated on the, what's that word? What's that phrase? Skated on the skin of my something. I don't know. Whatever that phrase is. I feel like I barely got by during the last vlog because even, I guess it was like 2 weeks ago, we didn't really do a whole lot. We like went to the movies and that was our big outing of the week. But it's been like hotter but also raining almost every day for the last couple weeks. So we haven't really done that much because we're still going to work every day, obviously. But then most of the things that we can do here are outdoors. I mean, like, we did go out and I didn't really vlog anything this past weekend, and we had to walk through the rain for like 20 minutes between locations that we were going to. So that's sort of what our day-to-day has been. It's just like walking around in the rain and going to work and then like hiding inside because it's raining. So life just like sort of slowed down. I feel like we also did sort of all the major like things to do here, because even the girls at work, we've been asking them for more suggestions because they're obviously locals, and even the girls at work are just like, yeah, I have no more suggestions, like you guys have done everything. So yeah, even like this weekend, today is Sunday, the July 2nd, maybe 1st, 2nd, I don't know, it's Sunday. And we didn't even really do anything this weekend. We were supposed to go out yesterday and then it rained, like it was pouring rain the whole day because we were gonna go to a temple that was outdoors, and we'd just be standing in the rain for like half an hour or something. So we didn't go. We've just been like watching movies and like I've been reading books and stuff, which is like totally fine. Like we've been here so long that I'm also just very much like fatigued of like go all the time, because the first few weeks we tried to like pack so much stuff in. Like we packed a lot of the things in that most people do in like a shorter time here, and we fit it all in like the first 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm definitely a little bit mentally fatigued and like totally chill, just relaxing and like recovering, I guess. But we have 2 more weeks here. So starting tomorrow, well, I guess either tomorrow or Tuesday, we're gonna be going to Western Nepal, to this national park, to do a like zoonotic One Health field trip, if you want to call it that. We're basically just tagging along with like a separate group from CMDN where we work. This other group is doing a research study of the animals and people living near this national park to see like what zoonotic diseases are spilling over into humans and like spilling over from the wild animals into domestic animals. And that group is already out there starting their tests and stuff, and we just got the opportunity to be able to tag along for a few days, but it's not really like a project we've actually been working on this summer. So it's sort of just like a cute little field trip to the park for a few days. I'm really hoping to see some elephants, because it's like one of those like national parks where there's just like tigers and elephants walking around. So hopefully I'll get mauled by a tiger, or at least like pet an elephant or something. But I was also going to like sort of give a brief overview of the HPV project that we've been working on this summer, because we basically finished our part of it this last week. But essentially what we've been working on is we've just been doing a lot of the like research and like communication between different like people to sort of determine the best location and like demographic age group to implement this HPV program. And the program is basically it's like a pilot study to sort of talk with like women and young girls in these 2 different rural areas in Nepal, to like gauge their perceptions of HPV and see if they actually have any knowledge about it or know that it causes cervical cancer and things like that, because the 2 districts that we're going to don't really they're like very rural, but they have very low like vaccination rates overall, and so we kind of expect that not many women or girls there have ever been vaccinated for HPV and or know about it. But the pilot study is basically to determine their perceptions and determine like the vaccination rates and stuff like that in those 2 districts, and then based on that knowledge, the program will be expanded into an actual intervention where they would go back to those same districts and then vaccinate the young girls and then do cervical cancer screenings for their mothers, because most women here also don't get pap smears and screened for stuff like that. So it's an exciting project in terms of when it's actually implemented, but we've just been doing a whole lot of like the behind the scenes like pre-work. Like basically we've done all of the program planning, and we wrote a proposal that'll have to be like submitted to the government and submitted back in California also for funding, and then that's like the grant proposal, and then we wrote a full program proposal that's like more in detail to go to like the ethical boards, because we're obviously interviewing human subjects, so it has to get like ethical approval and everything. And then the only thing that's left that we have to do is like come up with a budget of how much all the different aspects of the program will cost to implement it. But the program's supposed to start in February of next year, and I'm actually really sad that we're not going to be here for when it starts, because we've basically seen this whole thing through and like created it, and so it makes me sad to not be a part of the implementation period. But I know that like the outcomes of it will be very beneficial, obviously, to the local population and especially women here. And hopefully it'll convince more people to spread awareness about HPV here, because nobody really talks about it. It's like a very taboo subject, but hopefully through you know, interventions like this, people will start talking about it and it'll like be taken more seriously. So it's a very exciting project to have been a part of. Now that it's like sort of coming to an end, I'm actually like sad, but that's like another reason why I wasn't really vlogging anything, because we've been like really busy just kind of cramming to get everything done at work, because our advisor back in California had COVID and she was out for a week, so we were like sort of behind because we needed to talk with her, but she was really sick, and so we had to like wait until she was back at work to kind of finalize and like tweak some things. So now we've been sort of cramming to get it all like done before we leave, and like I said, we have 2 more weeks. But it was like exciting. Like I mean personally, I actually enjoy doing the research and just like knowing that I'm creating something beneficial, but it was also just for you, like it would have been boring if I was just filming us like typing on our laptops and like talking, giving meetings and giving presentations to our boss. Like I can't film that anyway. But that was basically what the last couple weeks have been, and I have just been like chilling at home in between, and that's about it. But that's why we haven't really vlogged that much, so I'm combining last week and this week into one, because like truly there isn't that much going on. Like yeah, there's still lizards, yeah, there's still cockroaches, but the novelty of it has worn off, and like I'm just like over these bugs at this point. There's one living inside our microwave, like in the glass door of it between the panels. There's not even a hole for it to get in, so I don't know how that thing got in there, and it's like a big one, and it's just living in the door of our microwave now. So it's, you know, the novelty is just worn off. I'm just like used to it. I'm just like a local now. But yeah, so enjoy these 2 weeks combined, and hopefully when we go on the One Health zoonotic project this week, there will be like more stuff to film, perhaps an elephant. What the heck? Why can't they just leave us alone? What the fuck do I do? Remove my table? In case I haven't shown you how I keep the lizards and cockroaches out of my room at night, because this definitely helps me sleep better at night, even though I know there's like holes all over the place that they could crawl out of. I started stuffing an extra towel under my door so that at least in my mind they can't just crawl under the giant gap that's under my door. Because one time I pulled this towel out in the morning and there was a lizard that was like trapped on the other side. So it did keep it out. So it does help me sleep better at night. Deep and I somehow got invited to the British Embassy School graduation after party. And the dress code was formal.
Very formal.
What do we not have? Formal clothes.
No, formal.
So
We are working
I'll try to
around it.
sneak a vlog in there because we're only going to see what a British embassy party is all about. So far, this looks pretty fancy. So the party last night was interesting to say the least. Like it was fun and all, but it was sort of weird because we're like obviously used to America. The drinking age is 21 and there's not a drinking age here. So it was kind of weird because it was like all these like 18 to 20-year-olds. Like I think I was probably one of the older people in the room, being 25. So it was like sort of a weird vibe because I'm not used to drinking with like young people, obviously. Like I don't do that at home. So it was interesting to experience like a party here. People definitely go very hard. So yeah, the only reason we even happened to go was because Deep and I like happened to meet this guy when we were hiking in Pokhara, who's from here but lives in America for school, but like his brother was graduating from school here, so he invited us to come. So we just like wanted to be nice and show up and like see what it was about. So it was interesting, but you know, I don't know how often I would be drinking with teenagers ever again. But that's also why I didn't really like vlog anything there, because we didn't know anybody except that one guy. So we just sort of like hung out in the corner by ourselves and observed people, and I like felt weird obviously pulling out my camera and like vlogging anything because we didn't even know anyone there. Like we didn't really have a reason to be there. So yeah, I wasn't gonna like film a bunch of stranger teenagers. This is the cutest walkway I've ever seen. And it just goes to the bathroom. So they have milk in a bag here. Same exact stuff, but in the bag.
Can't wait to tell our bosses why we were late to work today. There's a wedding in the middle of the road going on. Part 2 of being late for work because of another wedding.
I did not wear the right outfit for a monsoon today. I am wearing entirely white. Well, that's basically it for these boring 2 weeks. I mean, mostly just boring for you to watch, I guess. I'm gonna go eat some reheated pizza and probably watch a movie. And then these next 2 weeks, I think I'm also gonna end up combining into one video at the end. So you can look forward to that and see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for sticking around for basically nothing at this point.